Hey guys, welcome back to Wentworth Life and welcome to the Season 3 ranking video, my little mini fun video series where I rank some of the best moments from each season. Okay guys, well, let's go. Okay then, so kicking my top 3 characters of Season 3 off is Bridget Westfall. Now, I absolutely loved Bridget when she first arrived. In fact, I just love her full stop. But I think she was a brilliant addition to this Season 3 show. And I also feel that Bridget definitely played a big part in Joan's mentality unraveling of her slowly going into madness. 100%. Brilliant new character. And at number 2 of my top 3 season characters is Frankie Doyle. I definitely think that Season 3 was Frankie's best season to date. I mean, she was great in Season 4 and Season 5, but I don't know, I just feel in Season 3, Frankie more or less came full circle, and she ended up, teaming up with B and taking down the Freak, and yeah, Frankie was fantastic. And number 1 is B Smith. She hasn't gone anywhere. Season 3 is also one of B's best seasons. There were times when I felt she was a little bit tough, but do you know what? I think just that first episode alone where, she goes up to John Ferguson's face and is like, "You don't run this prison, I do." Just basically puts B at number 1. Okay, moving on to my top 3 episodes, and number 3 we have episode 11, The Living and the Dead. So this was the episode just before the final, and everything was building up nicely. Now in this episode, Joan was getting a little bit more crazy. I think Fletcher and B, they put photos of Gianna all over her office. Joan was just losing it. She slapped Vera in the face. Vera, she had a bit of a altercation with Juicy Lucy on the top of the stairs, should I say. The murder weapon, Mr. Jackson, it was looking like he was going down. Jess had her claws into baby Joshua. Things were just building up perfectly. This was a fantastic episode. I remember being so excited for the following episode the following week. Now at number 2 is episode 8, Goldfish. Now I know a lot of you will relate to me on this one because this was probably one of the best episodes in the shows. If I was to do a top 10 best episodes from the whole show, this one would probably be on there. This is the episode where we learn even more about Joan. We see her home life and we see how neat and tidy she is. She has a goldfish as a pet that dies at the start of the episode. It's also the episode where Doreen gives birth and Joan helps her, and eventually Joan overhears B and Doreen slagging her off and calling her a freak, and Joan goes home and goes berserk, smashes up the house, kills her new goldfish, and yeah, an absolutely perfect episode in my opinion. At number 1 is episode 1, The Governor's Pleasure. Now, this is just the best episode ever, if not the best of the whole show. This is the episode where B and the women, they take over the yard, and Vera gets taken hostage, and she gets jabbed with an infected needle, and it's just absolutely amazing. It is literally B and the women versus Joan Ferguson, and I tell you what, I was not expecting this to be happening in the very first episode of Season 3. I thought that was going to happen towards the middle, so when this first episode premiered, I was blown away and thinking, wow, Season 3 is going to be off the scale, and it certainly was. Okay, so my top 3 Season 3 moments. So at number 3, it's Vera and Juice on the stairs. So I just touched on this, but just to elaborate, Juice was the one who ended up jabbing Vera and giving her Hep C. Now, Vera was very annoyed and she found out that it was Juice, and Juice was in a wheelchair because she got beaten up by Maxine in a previous episode, and Vera takes Juice to the toilet, but they take a little detour to the top of the stairway, and when Juice goads Vera, it's looking like that Vera is gonna throw her down the stairs, but Vera, she does actually pull back, but Juice then elbows Vera, causing Juice to take a nasty tumble. It's just brilliant, just proper edge of your seat stuff, and I just love it. And coming in at number 2 is Will Learns the Truth. So this is the moment where a USB stick is delivered to Will's home and he plays it in his laptop and he hears Frankie Doyle, confessing to the murder of Meg Jackson. Now, while this is all playing out, Frankie is actually rehearsing her speech of what she's going to say at her parole hearing. The music is building and the tension's rising, and then by the end, Will just slams down his laptop, storms on his bike, and he's off to Wentworth to confront Frankie. And I remember thinking, wow, Will looks pretty mad. If he was storming towards me in that mood, I would absolutely shit my pants. At number 1, it is, of course, You Don't Run This Prison, I Do. Oh. It's the moment where B and Ferguson go head to head in the yard in front of all of the women, in front of all of the officers, and B basically puts Joan in her place and just tells her that you don't run this prison. And B literally found what Ferguson's weak spot was at the start of season 3, and that was Joan couldn't get into any more trouble, otherwise she was running the risk of losing the governorship. So, absolutely brilliant moment. I love the song that they play, Radioactive by Imagine Dragons. It's just perfect with Joan standing there with the burning mattresses in the yard. Okay, 3 moments that either made me laugh or cry. So at number 3, you have more than done your time. Now, this is the moment where Frankie goes to Liz and tells Liz that she did something today that made her realise what she put Sue Young through, and that was Sue Young who died in season 2. So Frankie, she had to swallow some gear in order to save her parole, which of course comes with very dangerous risks. And then Liz and Frankie, they hadn't been, very good friends during season 3 up until this point. And, Frankie breaks down crying and Liz gives her a proper mum hug, and, Liz tells Frankie, you've more than done your time, and it's just such a beautiful moment. It always puts tears in my eyes. At number 2, and we have Do I Look Like a Disabled Person? So this is, of course, a moment that made me laugh, and it's when Boomer, she's had her hands burnt by B for being naughty, and, I think Liz, she's been told to, look after Boomer and, wash her vajayjay. But, Boomer sneaks away and she tries to have a shower, but she starts to struggle, so Maxine comes along and helps her, and Boomer's like, no, fuck off. And then, Maxine then says, I used to work with disabled people, and Boomer just says, do I look like a fucking disabled person? And Maxine's like, yes. Brilliant moment. And also, this is also the start of Boomer and Maxine's friendship. At number 1, it is, oh my goodness, it's Just Stop, Just Stop. Okay, so it's the moment where Joan basically is freaking out because she's coming to work, there's photos of Gianna all over the wall, and she thinks that it was Mr. Fletcher that did it, so she confronts him in her office, and he's just basically, telling her that his night shift was uneventful, and then eventually Joan just loses it and she goes, just stop, and then she's going blur 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 and everything, and she starts doing impressions, and it's just absolutely hilarious. Every time I watch this scene with Peter, we both end up in fits of laughter. Okay, so fight, death, and new character. So my favourite new character of season 3 is, of course, Bridget. Absolutely brilliant new character, just love her. I love how she's kind and friendly with the women. I love her and Frankie's relationship, and I also love her friendship with Vera as seasons go on. My favourite fight scene of season 3 is actually Frankie and Juice. So this is when Juice and her crew, they're about to do something very nasty to Sophie, and Frankie comes in with her mop and she basically turns into a ninja. She takes on Juice's crew and then she pins Juice up against the wall, and then as Juice walks away, Frankie then hits her over the back of the shoulder and the mop breaks, and says, oh yes Frankie. It's just brilliant. Literally, Frankie turns into a ninja during this fight scene. And my death scene is going to be Jess Warner, just because she is a bitch. She tries to kill her baby, and it was just brilliant seeing Joan proper cross the line there by strangling a prisoner to death, and you actually got to see just how strong Joan Ferguson is as well. So yeah, Jess Warner definitely tops the death list in this season. Okay, we're now on to marry, fuck, and kill. So in season 3, I'm actually going to marry Boomer Jenkins. I just love Boomer. I didn't marry her last season or in season 1, so I just thought season 3, I'm gonna marry her, and she could do with some help because she burnt her hands. Now, who am I gonna fuck in season 3? I'm gonna fuck Nash Taylor. Why? Because he is absolutely drop dead gorgeous. He's definitely my cup of tea, very easy on the eye, and I can't believe I forgot about him in season 2. So season 3, Nash Taylor, you're having it. And who am I gonna kill? Of course, it's gonna be Jess Warner. She tried to kill a baby, for goodness sake, so she needed taken out. So I'm gonna kill Jess, even though Joan got there before me, but she's there. She's there on my list. Absolute bitch. So, that was my rankings for Season 3. Let me know in the comments box below if you agree with my rankings or if you disagree. There's no wrong or right answer, guys. We're all entitled to an opinion, and I'll be really interested to hear. The Season 4 ranking installment will be up by next Friday, and I hope you're ready for this one, as there are quite a few new changes and new additions in Season 4 to mix things up. Okay, guys, well, thank you all for watching. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you all again very soon.